Hey, hello everyone. Welcome to the practical section, and I'm going to discuss regarding offensive Azure Recon. So let's start, and we will discuss further. So here, okay, let me go to the whiteboard. Here is my whiteboard. Okay, you can see, right? Let me zoom for you this thing. Okay, so this is called offensive Azure Recon. As you can see, we can start from here. Let me change the color. Okay, to blue. Okay, so you can see clearly we need to start from here. That is called start offensive Azure Recon. And in our previous section we discussed about there are two type of recon. One is called authenticated recon, right? And second is basically called unauthenticated recon. There are two type of recon, as we know, authenticated and unauthenticated, right? Here, so you can see this is the hacker recon that we call authenticated recon, and second is unauthenticated. Now we need to collect the cloud information. Okay, so as a black hat, or we can say as a black box, we need to perform a enumeration. Okay, so how we can do that? Okay, I'm going to give you some example. Okay, just follow me. Okay, and in the end I'm going to discuss all these areas. So first, like unauthenticated recon, collecting all the information about the target like Azure, GCP, AWS, whatever. In this section we are going to focus on Azure, right? Next, once you collect the information, we will look at the weak point. So in Azure specifically, or any cloud, we need to focus on policies, conditional access policies, and RBAC rule, ABAC rule, kind of user we need to check. There are tons of things we need to check, right? It is not only one thing, because specifically when you look at the Azure, I think almost there are 500 plus services. There are more actually. They are very rich in services. So how to enumerate all the services, how to analyze all the services properly, and how to exploit it. These are three different things. So we need to focus properly. Okay, collect all the information, and then okay, we'll map it properly. And once you map it, okay, then we'll further attack it. So but this information, we are collecting all the information, okay, from outside, kind of black box. Okay, there are a lot of information you can collect from outside. So based on this, identify weak point. If yes, then okay, you can look for the enumeration, further enumeration. If no, research more on the target. That is very, very important. Let me denote this part with the red color. This is very, very important. Okay, research more on the target area. So example, let's say you are performing a recon and nothing is working, and maybe you didn't identify a proper information. In that particular case, what you can do is further perform a recon, check it, okay, like what you missed it, enumerate more, because there are certain API we require. If you get that API, then it's very easy to enumerate all the resources. Okay, there are a lot of information we can get it from outside. Now in this case example, let's say now you identify the weak point. Yes, right? Go to the enumeration, and in Azure I discussed already there are four things: subscription, resource group, it means tenant, subscription, resource group, and the resources, right? I'll write here. First, okay, we have a tenant. Under the tenant we have a subscription. Under subscription we have a resource group, and then we have a resource. Okay, so total you can see like 1, this is 2, this is 3, and this is the 4. So only 4 important points you need to remember when you performing a recon. So example, let's say here first we enumerated domain, identify the domain structure. If any weak point, okay, in the domain points, there are many things, okay, subdomain takeover also possible, okay, in Azure as well, and many other possibility. And domain is very, very important for us. Basically I'm talking about DNS areas, very, very important. Enumerate properly and assess vulnerability and end of the recon. That is specifically for the domain area. Now when you talk about tenant means organization. Okay, so I'll show you the practical example. Let's say here, what do you mean by the tenant? So example, it's like I have a company, I only know the company name, right? I have no idea. So what I'll do is I'll simply type, okay, like this Trevor spray, and I can use -- recon, and let me make full screen this part. Trevor spray -- recon, and then our domain name. So example, let's say this one, we will try example. So when you can hit enter, you can see clearly we are getting all the information regarding this, and we enumerated tenant ID. Okay, there are many information. You can see the domain identified, you can see clearly tons of information we identify right here in this just one command, but there are hundreds of commands like that. Okay, for more information you can check, I have a program also called offensive cloud penetration testing, where we are covering hybrid cloud like multi-cloud, AWS, Azure, GCP, and tons of things we are covering under this program. So I'll leave it to you. Check it this particular program. I have already 52 plus video recorded, freely available on my YouTube channel. Just right side you can go click on the YouTube channel and you can learn freely, completely. Check it out. So this is the way, right? That's how we can enumerate the information. Now once you identify the tenant, then go to that this area called analyze tenant configuration. And then identify the weak, again because tenant also we called as a domain, assess vulnerability, and end of the recon. Next part is enumerate user. You can simply map user account like based on the role, we can say RBAC or ABAC. Based on this role you can find out the information. Based on these roles we will further perform a privilege escalation. So these are the very important information which you can do using password spraying, data leak, brute forcing, hiding your IP, and lot of like attack possible under this area. And enumerate login. So sometime what happen, there are federation. So when you perform a proper recon, you will get a lot of endpoint which have a login portal or some kind of application services are running, right? So in that case we will enumerate login, and based on the login we will try to bypass, because as I mentioned, in application there are 100 plus vulnerability. Then we have a subdomains, then Azure related domains, tons of things, storage account, public we need to check, public or private. It will come under this particular picture. So all this information we need to enumerate. Again, this is not the end, but this is exactly specifically when we go toward Azure, exactly we focus on these areas, right? So we need to discuss about tenant, subscription, resource group, and resource, and lot information we can find from outside. And imagine if we have if we compromise one user, then all this part will be very easy for us for perform a privilege escalation, lateral movement, backdooring, creativity, and lot of other. We can create a backdoor, we can write a malware, we will put inside, and tons of things we can do that. Again, and by default the logs not creating, in the sense for example, let's say if you use certain tool, so the log will not be recorded. The log will be recorded only when you sign in. So if you're using some tools, when you sign in to the Azure, then under that Azure portal you will get that particular logs, right? So we need to take care like how we can enumerate all this information and without noise. So we don't want to create much noise while enumerating. So properly, in a proper way, we need to perform enumeration. That exactly I want to discuss under this particular area. And wait for my next video where I am going to dissect more about it. But for today, focus on this particular mind map that is specifically called offensive Azure Recon. I hope you enjoy this particular video. I will see you in the next section. And before going to the next area, if you are new to the channel, please subscribe to the channel. I have a community recently created called Offensive Hacking and Black Hat. Please join us here. And also we have a very big community here on LinkedIn. You can follow me from LinkedIn here. You can follow our company page where 112k plus people join our community. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next video. Have a great day. Bye bye. Take care.